What's going on, Spurs fans, and welcome to another edition of the Hotspur live stream here on Stateside Footy, as our beloved Tottenham Hotspur have a massive test on their hands today as they travel to the Molineux to take on a freshly relegated Wolves side led by Rob Edwards. And quite honestly, this is pretty much it. Granted, I will say that the last couple have been must-wins, and no doubt they absolutely had to be must-wins. But that being said, we're getting down to the titty-gritty. If this team is incapable of getting a win against a team like Wolves that is pretty much devoid of talent, then it sucks, man. It sucks to say it, but it's probably going to be over. But that being said, we have 90 minutes, and for those that were tuning in on the Irish Hotspur this morning, dude, I went full delusional. Something about this match makes me believe that Spurs are going to not only triumph, but they're going to absolutely beat the shit out of Wolves. Now, granted, history is not necessarily on our side. We haven't beaten Wolves since 2021, 2022, somewhere in that area. I think Wolves have won the last 6. And so from that standpoint, yeah, this is, this does have a tendency to be a nervy type of game for Spurs. But that being said, last week against Brighton, against a team that was playing as one of the best teams in the Premier League, we kind of made Brighton look, we made them look weak at times. And granted, it didn't end the way that we thought it was going to end. But that being said, there were far more positives to pull out of that match than we have seen at any point of the season. I will say it, that match against Brighton was probably our best performance whistle to whistle that we have seen all season. And that is including some of our better wins that we've had on the year. So the challenge today is to get started early. And what I like about what Roberto De Zerbi did was he essentially stayed with the entire starting 11 from last week. And I like that because one of the things that this team has had a problem with, especially in the Thomas Frank era, was a necessity to over-rotate. And there was never really an opportunity for some of our starting guys to build that chemistry, to build that continuity. And so today, Roberto De Zerbi decides to stick with the core that did a fairly decent job against Brighton. So let's go ahead and get into it. And here's the starting 11 for your Tottenham Hotspur. And of course, Roberto De Zerbi starts in a 4-2-3-1. And of course, my guy, Tony Kinski, will be in net today. And I like Tony Kinski, and I thought Tony, his last 2 performances were progressively better from week to week. And it shows that this young kid is playing with confidence. And me personally, if it was up to me, I'd just give him the rest of the season. So we know for a fact what we absolutely have in our hands. And me personally, I think with Kinski's play for the last couple of weeks, I think he's kind of earned it a little bit. The back 4 is going to be Pedro Porro on the right. Jed Spence steps into the left back role, and I don't think that is that big of a surprise, considering he obviously has a lot of time in that left back role. He elects to go with Spence instead of rolling the dice on a young Souza. And I know there's some people that would have preferred De Zerbi to roll the dice, because a lot of fans feel like we're in a roll the dice type of situation with today's game. But that being said, I wasn't surprised that he went with, at least a sure pair of hands. Now, the question is whether Spence is going to be able to hold that width. Because he's a right footer, he does have a tendency to drift a little bit more centrally. So he doesn't necessarily hold that outside edge, and how that is going to play off of Xavi Simons on the left. But that being said, on his day, he's a pretty good 1v1 defender. So we'll see if today is that day. The center back pairing is going to be Kevin Danso. Congratulations to Kevin Danso. Yes, last week was a monumental mistake. But that being said, if there's anybody that is a sure pair of hands on this team, it's Kevin Danso. And I would probably assume that if anybody's going to have a great game today, it's going to be Kevin Danso. And of course, Mickey Van de Ven, who is wearing the captain's armband today. I like it. The midfield pairing is going to be Rodrigo Betancourt and Yves Bissouma. And again, last week I thought both of these guys played a phenomenal game. Yes, Bissouma got his token yellow card, but outside of that, I thought both of these guys played pretty well. Bissouma will probably be the withdrawn 6, as Betancourt is probably going to be that box-to-box guy. Conor Gallagher is going to be that high presser along with Dominic Solanke. He's going to probably be kind of dropping in and out of that 10 role. The same thing with Xavi Simons. He's probably going to be drifting in, a little bit more centrally as well too. And so if you're going based off of last week, man, let me tell you, Conor Gallagher had himself a game. Obviously, the attacking 4 is going to be Randall Kolo Muani off the right. Xavi is going to be off the left. And again, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of rotation in that 10 between Conor Gallagher and Xavi Simons. And up top will be Dominic Solanke. I know there's a lot of fans out there that don't like the idea of Randall Kolo Muani in the starting 11. But as Roberto De Zerbi said, he wants his best players out on the pitch, and he rates Randall Kolo Muani. Granted, 17 starts on the season, only 1 goal in the Premier League. Not exactly the greatest return for a lone player, but it is what it is. And on his day, Randall Kolo Muani could potentially be that guy. I know a lot of people wanted Matisse Tell, me included, but Roberto De Zerbi sees something in Randall Kolo Muani. So I guess we're just going to have to trust the process. All right, for your freshly relegated Wolves, in net today will be Jose Sa. There was a rumor that Wolves would be going back to their third choice keeper because the thought of the shoulder injury with Jose Sa and his backup probably wouldn't be able today. But that being said, he passes a fitness test, so he will be the starter today. If you're a Spurs fan, you're kind of hoping for that number 3, but it is what it is. They're lined up in a 3-4-2-1, and of course, head coach Rob Edwards. The back 3 is going to be Gomes, Bueno, and Doherty. And Doherty will be wearing that captain's armband today. The midfield 4 is going to be Lima on the right, Bueno on the left, and hopefully Bueno is no bueno today. They got a double Bueno in their starting 11. You have to appreciate the double Bueno. With a midfield pairing of Gomes and Andre. The underneath 10s will be Gomes and Mane, and of course will be Armstrong. Good God, man, they got multiple Gomes. They got 3 Gomes, and they got 2 Buenos. Jesus Christ, man. They love doubling and tripling up with dudes with the last name. Anyways, that's your starting 11 for Wolves. And we are getting so very close to this one. But I will say that for Tottenham Hotspur, you have to take advantage of what's in front of you. And that is a team that is freshly relegated. I guess the nervousness around it is the fact that because Wolves are relegated, they have nothing to play for, that this would be a perfect advantage for a team like them to drag Spurs down with them. And so from that standpoint, this has to be the type of match where Spurs have to dictate the tempo of this match early. They have to get forward, and they have to be brave. They have to be brave, and they have to put Jose Sa on his back foot early and often. We have to be able to dictate this one. The last thing that this team can do is allow Wolves to get comfortable, because again, if that happens, this is going to be one of those type of games, and we can ill afford to play that type of game. This season, we do have a history of coming very good on the road, and today is going to have to be that one. Spurs need all 3 points. They cannot rest on their laurels and take a point away from this one. We have to be firmly in control from start to finish, and we have to dictate this play. Also, go Everton. Absolutely. As we are off now, and it looks like Spurs will hold possession as Tony Kinski will bomb this one deep, as that's going to bounce forward. And looks like Wolves will come away with it, but that ball is going to be intercepted, so Spurs will have possession in Wolves territory. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge right there, and I think there is going to be a whistle as Pedro Porro hits the deck. And hopefully this is going to be an early free kick for Spurs here. Actually, the ball's going to get out, so it'll be a throw-in. As that ball will get played all the way back to Kevin Danso, and Spurs now will reset with Mickey the Van de Ven, as that ball will now go down the left-hand side. Here's Dread Spence, as he's going to slow things down. I really hate when Jed does that. Just beat your man around the corner. Jesus Christ. Put him under pressure. Here's Pedro now down the right-hand side. There's going to be a ball that's going to get played forward, but there's Jose Sa. And now Wolves will try to counter quickly. That ball is going to get played out of bounds. I do appreciate the almost 300 of you guys that are tuning in. I want to say what's up to all the homies on TikTok Live, those that are on Facebook, those that are tuning in from X, and of course those that are tuning in on YouTube as well. Thank you to Dan Davenport, who is the ride or die in the chat. Also, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well, so you don't miss out on any upcoming stateside footy content, as this is a race to the end of the season, as Spurs are looking to stay up in the Premier League. And hopefully it is by a comfortable number, and we don't go stay up by the skin of our teeth. I don't think I have the heart strength to withstand one of those relegation scraps, but nonetheless, Wolves now will play this one back to Jose Sa, as Sa will play it up, as that one will get played out of bounds. So I think this is going to be a Spurs throw-in. Yeah, it is. As that went off of Bueno, one of the two Buenos. The double Bueno and the triple Gomez. How do you go down with two Buenos and three Gomez's? I ask you that. As that ball gets played forward. And Spurs look like they're going to try to hold this one in as this one bounces down. And there is going to be a whistle as Conor Gallagher hits the deck. And okay. I'm not a big fan of today's referee, as this dude is really quick to pull the trigger. And right there, I don't necessarily think that was... Yeah, okay, that elbow did kind of clip Conor Gallagher. So it's going to be interesting that Spurs are going to have to get off to a good start today to avoid the referee situation today, because again, this dude is, referee two guns. He's not afraid to pull the trigger when it comes to his whistle. So Spurs are going to have to get an early lead, build on it, and put themselves in a position where they can't get fucked over by the refs. So it looks like Pedro Porro will be taking this free kick here, and we'll see what Spurs can do on their first opportunity from a set piece, as this ball will go in, headed forward. Ooh, and it nearly hit Solanke. And by the way, Solanke's looking for a penalty right there. And I think he's got some action on it. But Wolves are the worst from conceding from set pieces in not just the Premier League, but also in any of the major 5 leagues around Europe. This team concedes a shitload of goals from set pieces. And of course, at one point this season, Spurs are actually one of the best at set piece goals. Not necessarily of late, but it's certainly something that could potentially play into this match as well too. So we'll see. as Jose Sa is going to play this one long. Dan Davenport here says ex-Prem ref Dermot Gallagher lives in the same city. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So you live next to Bex, and you live next to a former ref. That's cool. As look at this, man. Play resumes. Here comes Spurs now. Dribbling in. They will still hold possession, and it's Conor Gallagher. And Xavi comes away with it. That's a good pass forward. As now Gallagher is trying to play this one off of Spence. That's a good ball forward in the box. Trying to get around the corner. And I think this will go out for a goal kick. It's looking like it's goal kick. As we see it again, yeah, that was excellent defense right there by Doherty right there. But they are actually going to say it's a corner here. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, you're hobnobbing with some of England's royalty right there, man. Bex is just right down the road, man. You got to just knock on his door, bud, and just say what's up, man. Give him a high five. So Spurs will have their first corner as they're going to try to play this one short. I hate it when they play short. There's a ball to the back post. Jose Sa comes out and punches it away, but Spurs will race to it. As here's Jed Spence as he's going to play this one forward. And that's going to come away as Wolves will take possession. That's a great challenge right there by Dom Solanke to get that ball back. As Wolves were caught napping, Spurs look like they are fully in control of this match as we're only 6 minutes in, but still. Let's get that goal. Let's get it. As that ball will get played forward. Oh, that's good hustle right there as that's going to get out. As Dominic Solanke was challenged 1v1 as he hits the deck, but I think it went off of Solanke there. As that was a good ball forward. As there's James Madison. Hopefully we'll get to see Matters today. Let's see. K Plum, what's going on, man? Why are you streaming this? Just wondering. Because I am a Spurs fan. As Jose Sa will play this one long. But I got a better question for you, though. Why do you care? Just curious. I do enjoy this football team quite a bit. That's a good ball around? Is that Kolomwani? It is. I think that's going to get out. I think this is going to be another corner right here. Yeah. So so this channel is really an American soccer channel, and it does focus on the U.S. men's national team, Major League Soccer, and the USL. But it's also a Spurs channel as well too, because my guilty pleasure is Tottenham Hotspur. So let's see. Are you planning to meet up with Jack, who is co-presenter of Dave's? No, I don't have any plans as of yet to meet up with Jack. As Xavi will play this one in. This will go around. This will go well over the box. Not exactly the best corner here for Xavi Simons. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just talked to Jack this morning. But the next time I'm in Seattle, yeah, I'll probably get a hold of Jack and see if he wants to get together. So we'll see. Yeah. Yep. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, K Plum. So Xavi Simons didn't exactly have the greatest corner right there, but as of right now, Wolves have done absolutely nothing right now to establish their game here in the early portion of the first half. Spurs have absolutely done a fantastic job of controlling the tempo. Wolves just haven't had the opportunity. Now, hopefully what I just said doesn't come back to bite me in the ass and they score a goal. I was in Dave's channel chat. Yep. Are you sleepless in Seattle? No. Seattle is no longer home. As that ball gets played forward. As Wolves do a good job right here of holding possession here. As they will play this back between their buenos. Actually, it's just one Bueno. There's the other Bueno. As Wolves now have possession, trying to work this one deep. That's a good pass right there. As Spurs did a very good job of guarding the overlap. And it looks like, they nearly cleared it. And now Spurs will come away with it. It's Xavi. As Xavi's trying to break down the left-hand side, has to stop and pull up, but he's able to hold possession. So here comes Spurs now as they're going to get forward here in the build-up. As Danso now will work it to Mickey van de Ven. As that was a terrible pass as Pedro Porro has to come back to keep possession here. So Spurs concede valuable real estate right there with that stinker of a pass. But play resumes up the left-hand side. Here's Jed. I will not go forward, Spence. I will stutter step and concede real estate, Spence. As now Wolves are going to try to press a little bit here. Jed really is the stutter step. Xavi will play this forward. Here's Jed, as Jed is challenged here. That's a good pass forward. A little too heavy, so here comes Wolves now as they're going to try to break. Oh, that's a bad pass. Here's Colo. Colo takes a rip, and that goes wide. Randall. They're going to have to potentially utilize the right-hand side a little bit more. Spurs do, as he actually nearly hits the near post right there, as that did just go a little bit wide. But yeah, they're going to have to utilize that right-hand side because Jed Spence just isn't necessarily going to be that guy that's going to be able to hold it. Now, I would say potentially bringing in a guy like Matisse Tell, but it's still a little early for that right now. So we'll see what Jed actually does. But Wolves will have possession here, as Doherty now will scoot it among his back three, as it's Bueno. As that ball is taken away. Here's Conor Gallagher. Jesus Christ, you love the fight here. Here's Xavi. Plays it to the left. Here's Spence. The stutter step will try to take a rip. That ball gets blocked, but tracking back is Xavi now off the left-hand side. And I think there's a potential whistle here. Oh, is it? Oh, dude. That's funny. As it went off the nuts of the ref right there. He took it right off the box. Play resumes. That's funny. A dong shot. That's a good ball forward by Colo. Plays it in the box. Oh, that's cleared. Is trailing to the back post right there. It looked like it was Solanke. Come on, let's win and get this boost. 100%, Cherry. 100%. Oh, that almost hit Solanke right there on the foot. Good defense right there by Doherty. So this will get out for a corner. And it'll be Xavi. Who last week took the yellow for taking off his shirt. As Xavi will play it in. That'll go out. And I don't know what that was. As I think that was Pedro Porro trying to put one on. That one went into orbit. But Spurs again now are 0 for 3 on corners. Just put one in the box for fuck's sake. We got the guys in the box. Plus, we're actually pretty good at rebounding off corners. That's a ball down the left side. There's a ball in. Ooh, and it skips on past as that will go out past the end line right there, or past the touch line. So Spurs will have the throw in here. As that was Bueno. That was one of two Buenos that got into a good position right there. as Rob Edwards will see his Wolves relegated. So Rob will be back in the championship next year. Still wondering why Rob Edwards decided to take this Wolves job when he had a nice thing going with Middlesbrough this year. And, Rob could have gotten that team promoted and still been in the Premier League. But, I guess Wolves stick together. Let's see. Cherry 9, who's playing good so far? That would be Spurs. We are controlling the tempo of this match. As it's Pedro Porro now, as they're going to try to play this one forward. Has an in-swinging Kolo Muani. Ooh, Xavi nearly got to that one. But it'll be cleared by Wolves as Mickey Van de Ven now will play this forward. Here's Jed Spence. That's the stutter. And he gets around the corner, dribbles in. Oh, that's taken away, and that's going to get played out. So this will be another Spurs corner. Throw-in. As Jed Spence actually challenged his man. Holy shit. I didn't believe it. I'm not a Jed Spence guy. As Spurs now doing a pretty good job of working in and out of the midfield. Here's Connor. As that one will hit Kolo Muani. That's a good ball around the corner. Here's RKM. Tries to play a ball in. That's going to take a deflection. And I do believe this will be another corner for Spurs. Look at RKM. Showing his balls. Actually, I think that went off of Randall. Showing some guts. Come on, boys. Let's get this goal. Let's take the early lead as Jose Sa will punt this long. As that'll be headed down. Spurs try to play it forward. And Dominic Solanke will take a fall, but play resumes on. Oh, that's a nice dribble through the middle of the park. That's a good ball. Too heavy of a touch, and Spurs will come away with it. And so again, that's a good ball forward. Wolves can't do anything on their possession. That one gets played out. Let's see. BB in the cut. That's an interesting name. BB in the cut. Let me guess. She's a lifestyle influencer. She looks like she looks like she would make my life a living hell. As that ball is going to get played and Wolves will take over possession here. Buck boots. All right. As Wolves try to weave this one through the midfield. As Spurs have 10 behind the ball here defensively, and it's Bueno. And we'll see what Wolves are able to do here. That's a good, solid pass forward. That's a good ball in. Great play by Kevin Danso to deny entry into the box. Still possession. We'll now go back to Spurs. Good defense right there by Spurs. Nice pass. And now all of a sudden, here comes Spurs now on the counter. It's Xavi Simons. He has Jed Spence to the left. Plays it in. Oh, that's just a little too hard. Spence had his man beat, but there's Jose Sa. How am I watching the game? That is a very good question, Ned. I am watching the game on my Sling app via USA. The USA Network. So here in the United States, there are two different ways you can watch Premier League games on Peacock and on NBC. USA is actually owned by NBC. And so NBC holds the Premier League rights here in the States. So there's a couple different ways you can watch it here in the States. And so I'm watching it via Sling. and the USA feed. So there are also websites you can go to watch this game live as well too. As Spurs will have possession, as that one will go all the way down to Randall. As Spurs are doing a good job. As Basuma now. That's a good pass by Basuma. As now Jed Spence is locked up. And that ball is going to get played all the way back. So Wolves do pick Spence's back pocket, but immediately clear it. So Spurs now will have to reset. There's a ball forward, and again, incredibly too hard of a touch right there, as that through ball essentially went, off the signage. So this looks like it'll be a goal kick. Spurs are clearly the better team today. And it's very obvious. But as of right now, Spurs are trying to get into that final third, as that's nearly taken away, as Van de Ven will now play it back to Mr. Kinski. And my guy Tony does a good job of getting it back to VDV. Spurs are moving the ball well in tight spaces. And here's Mr. Danso. And here's Pedro now, as he's got space down the right-hand side, but Conor Gallagher is there as the outlet. And now the Spurs will try to swing it to the left, as it's Basuma. Here's Xavi. We'll play it down to Randall. Kolo Muani, as that ball will be headed down, as Kolo played it in the box, but that'll get out. So Spurs will have to throw in here. And it'll be your boy Connor, who plays it back to Danso, as Spurs will reset. Come on, boys. That was nearly taken away. Spurs come away with it. Here's Connor. Here's Connor G. G Money. Okay, so it's G back pass. Oh, Kolo Muani. Did Kolo Muani come away with that? Yeah, he sure did. As that ball pings around. And Wolves will come away with it. God damn it. God damn it. All right. As there's the switch to the right-hand side, as Doherty now will play one forward, as Van de Ven is all over homeboy, as that one gets played out of bounds. As this will be a Wolves throw in here, as we are now in the 23rd minute. So a good little portion of the first half has gone by. Spurs have dominated possession, have dominated touches in the box by a long shot, as that one will go down. And I think there's going to be a whistle. Yeah, there has to be, as Solanke goes down. As Spurs thought they were going to try to start quick here. As Reagan here on TikTok says, 2-3 years, Dagestan and forget. Okay. I'll tell you what, man, Dagestan produces fighters. You ever seen those dudes? They wrestle bears. Those are a different breed of human beings, man, those Dagestanis. As that ball switches now to Pedro Porro. Here's Randall. As Spurs, again, will try to reset down the left-hand side. They're having a hard time of kind of cracking this back code, as Wolves essentially are dropping into a back five. So Spurs have to figure out a way to break down this low block of Wolves here. A pack of Wolves. As here's Pedro Porro. Tries to play it forward to Colo. But there's a clearance. But there's Kevin Danso who will hold it in. And now they will switch it. And Danso just makes a bad pass right here as Basuma has to race to it. Keeps it in. And here's VDV. VDV. Yeah, those initials kind of get me a little bit because it does sound like a sexually transmitted disease. He's got a bad case of VDV. you need a penicillin shot to clear that VDV. No disrespect, VDV. I love you. As it looks like there's going to be a whistle there as Colomboani hits the deck. As that's going to go against Bueno. So Spurs will have possession here. As VDV plays it down to Pedro Porro. As that gets swing back to Kevin Danso. Oh, and Kolo Muani just threw it away. Oh, Kolo. I understand what he was trying to do. There was just nobody there. So that ball gets swing back to Jose Sa. As that ball will go long. And it'll go out of play. He's got a bad case of VDV. As Spurs actually have 220 total passes. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, they also lead the possession battle 72 to 28 as Wolves right there played one down. Their right hand, but Kevin Danso was there. And I think this is going to, that looks like this might go out for Wolves' first corner. And Spurs are going to have to be lively on this one. The last thing you want to do is go down a goal. Give up the momentum that they created for themselves. Play it short, baby. As they do, they play it short. Perfect. As that ball goes in. And that'll drop. Oh, nice deflection right there by Solanke. As that one will come down, as Dom will come away with the ball. Oh, that back pocket's picked. Played in, that deflection will get out. So Wolves will have another corner here as Solanke gets his back pocket picked. That's no bueno. Good deflection, though, by Solanke. So, again, Wolves will have the opportunity here. Spurs cannot switch off here. As we're approaching minute 28, there's a ball that gets swung in, and Solanke will head it up as that'll drop. Here's Xavi, and now there's a ball that's going to get played forward, and there's Jose Sa. And Sa is going to have to drop on it because, right there looked like that might have been Jed Spence. That was no, it was Colo. Colo was chasing him down. And Sa will play it out left. I've always liked Jose Sa. I always thought he was a pretty solid keeper. Is he the best keeper in the Prem? No. But he's reliable. Good shot stopper. That one's going to get out, so Spurs will have a throw in. Like, if you told me, like, next year that we ended up with Jose Sa, I wouldn't be upset. He's a good rotational goalkeeper who can start. And with a solid defense in front of him, he comes good. As this one will get played in. And Pedro Porro had to play it all the way to the left. Here's Jed Spence, and now it's Tony. And Tony will play it forward. Good press right there by Wolves. As that ball forward is going to find. Here comes Spurs now. Down the left-hand side. Here's Dom. Big Dom in the box. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, God. Home dude was teed up. Here's Xavi, and that goes wide. Golly. Homeboy was teed up for a shot on net. Oh. As Callum Richie Lover says, dinosaur roar. All right. We had some odd dudes on TikTok Live, man. Let me tell you. Oh, there's our boys, man. Vinny Venkatesham and Johan Lang. The clueless duo, as we are now in the 30th minute. As Jose Sa plays it long, as that'll come down, Spurs will take possession. Good ball handling right there. Jesus, that was great. So here comes Jed Spence now. There's the stutter. Cuts in. As he plays it all the way to Pedro Porro. Here's Randall Colo. And Colo gives it away. Randall, for fuck's sake. As Wolves now are going to try to play this one forward. As that ball's taken away, so Spurs will come away with possession here. Here's Chave. And Chave is going to get tackled from behind. And they say play on. And now there's the whistle. This is what I'm talking about. As there is the tackle from behind that say, and everybody stops because they're expecting the whistle. So now there's no whistle, and then Solanke comes back from behind to get the ball back, and he's whistled for a ticky-tack. This is what I'm talking about. The inconsistency of this of these referees that have a tendency to kill momentum. Spurs have to play through it. As that's a nice little set of handles right there by Basuma. I love Vinny. What are you talking about? The funny thing about it is he is 100% Arsenal through and through, and you don't have a problem with it. All right. This ref is one of the greats. I wouldn't go so far as to say he's one of the greats, man. His last outing, he pulled out, I think he had 14 yellows that he pulled out. Yeah, that's insane, man. Referees are supposed to allow the 22 men on the field to play. The job of the ref is to not insert yourself into the game and only call penalties when it's obvious. Like if one team is getting a little too chippy, yeah, that's when you start blowing your whistle. But the last thing you need is to insert yourself into a game. Here's a ball in. Here's Xavi. Here's Danso. Here's Pedro. Pedro tries to play one. That's going to take a deflection. Spurs hold it in. As that bounces around, it comes down. Spurs will hold it. VDV around. Here's Basuma. Dribbles past, and that's going to take a deflection and go out. I think this will stay with Spurs. And it looks like Gomes is holding his shin here. Well, it's more money for the refs. I would do it too. How do you mean it's more money for the refs? Just out of curiosity. I'm curious to know why you say that. As it looks like Gomes, yeah, Gomes was trying to draw a whistle right there. No dice. So Spurs play on. Here's Colo. Oh, and Colo again. Gives up the ball, but good hustle play. As Spurs will have it in the box. And that's going to be taken away. There's a shot. And I think, yeah, there's going to be a whistle. As I think Dominic Solanke is going to get called for a foul there. The more money the more they call, the more money they get. I don't think it works that way. I think these guys are on salary. I don't think they get paid. I don't think they get paid per call. I think they get paid handsomely though. It's Gomez like Selena. Yeah, okay, I don't care. Gomez, Gomes, whatever. As Wolves will have possession here, as that one's going to get played forward, taken away by Spurs, as that one will go out. So I think Spurs will have to throw in here. Nope. As that one will come down, and that one will get out. So Spurs now have to throw in. As we are approaching the 35th minute, Spurs have been in full control throughout the first half, have yet to really kind of solve the riddle of the Wolves' low block. They've done a good job of denying entry into the box. So Spurs should also be mixing in, as that one will go out. That was a bad pass by Pedro Porro. Spurs should be also mixing in some balls from outside down on the right-hand side. Pedro could be pinging a couple more. Wouldn't mind seeing Xavi doing it off the left-hand side. I understand the method to the madness, because Wolves' defense has been terrible all season long. You're able to win some of those 1v1 runs into the box. So far, it hasn't necessarily worked out for Spurs. So mix it up a little bit. As that one was nearly taken away. Spurs actually have done a very good job in the midfield defensively. As Wolves now will play this back between their center backs, as it'll be Bueno, as that ball's going to come through. Oh, that actually hit home dude perfectly, as that one will get out. I think this will be a corner. Let's see. Watching from England, struggling to find a live feed, and your commentary is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Burnby. Burn 33. I appreciate it, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, buddy. Yeah, it's Adam Armstrong. Yeah, there you go. And it looks like there's going to be a little break in the action here, it looks like Dom Solanke is down. It doesn't look anything serious, so it looks like the teams are going to use this for a little bit of a water break here. I need 3 valid reasons as to why you think Vinny is useless. All right. So let's start from the top. That number one, he's Arsenal through and through. And from that in itself, should disqualify him first and foremost. The second thing is that he's entrusted the first team to a guy who has proven himself incapable of knowing how to build a team as big as Tottenham Hotspur. I think we have seen it enough to know that Johan Lang is completely incapable. The profile player that he has brought in may be pacey, but as far as their passing ability, Spurs are one of the worst passing teams in all of Europe. And also the quality of the player that he brings in has been poor. So that's number two. And then number three, he's lauded for his business acumen, but, from the standpoint of Spurs, what really has he done to put this team over the top? As a matter of fact, some of Spurs' biggest sponsors have wanted to pull the plug on their sponsorship because Vinay hasn't been involved. Vinay hasn't done the necessary groundwork to make sure that sponsorship is happy. And by the way, it's like the lifeblood of Tottenham Hotspur. Like, sponsorship revenue is a very big part of their club. And when sponsors are unhappy, life is not going to be made easy. On top of the fact that right now the last 2 years Spurs have been dreadful on the pitch. And so from that standpoint, Vinay Venkatesham absolutely has to be held accountable. And do we have proof that he's an Arsenal fan? He worked for Arsenal for 8 years. He's Arsenal through and through. So Solanke will come off as he takes a little bit of a knock. So on comes Richarlison here in the 39th minute. All right, Richie. All right, baby. Relegation Richie. Let's go, baby. All right, Spurs will have the goal kick as Tony will play this forward. And that comes down to Spurs. Here's Richie. And that's automatically taken away. So here comes Wolves. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit of a Richie fan. I do like Richarlison. As that ball's taken away, as they were trying to play it forward to Richie. Richie was out of position here. So Wolves now will play it forward. It's Bueno. And that ball will be played out of bounds. So there will be a Wolves throw in here as we are 5 minutes away from halftime. I'm sure there will only be a couple minutes of added time here in the first half. As we will keep you monitored as well, too, on the other match that is currently being played out. As the mighty Evertonians, the Toffees of Everton, are playing West Ham today. That ball was nearly taken away as that gets played out. And, of course, Spurs fans from all over the world understand the situation that we're in. I'm sure we will collectively be rooting for Everton as the mighty Toffees need to do us a solid today, as that ball was nearly taken away. But in the box, and that was an errant pass. So Spurs will take over possession. Let's see. Callum Ritchie says, West Ham are no threat. Y'all will stay up, trust. We'll see, man. We got to take care of business today. That was a good move right here to shake off Pedro Porro, as that ball will get out. So I think this will be a corner for Wolves. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go D, baby. As here comes the in-swinger. As that'll go short, that'll go near post, but it'll be headed out. And it looks like it went off of Adam Armstrong as that goes out past the end line to the far post. So Spurs will have a goal kick here. Good. As it was Mane, not that Mane. As it'll be my boy Tony, who will play it out to Kevin Danso. Yeah, Tony's been solid, man. I'm really happy for Tony Kinski, and personally, I think Tony should get the rest of the season. I think he's earned it. So Spurs now will cross the halfway line as there's the switch to the left-hand side. It will be Xavi. Your boy Xavi. Let's see. They have to put that ball a lot higher in the air, so you give it that nice fluid drop. Yeah. Lincoln away. Old Lincoln away. Are you talking about Lincoln City? By the way, congratulations to Lincoln City, man. It's kind of odd. Like 6 years ago, I think they were in the non-league, and they have fought their way up to the championship. So congratulations to Lincoln City. As just out of curiosity, as Spurs will have possession as they cross the halfway line. Look at MK Dons. Those fuckers from Milton Keynes, I still haven't forgiven them taking away Wimbledon to move to Milton Keynes, but that's a different story for different days. That ball will make its way all the way back to Tony Kinski. And it looks like Bromley is going up. And the playoffs, the League Two playoffs. How about Grimsby? Grimsby Town in a playoff spot. That's fantastic, man. Same with Salford City. Good for Salford, as they're only 4 points away from automatic promotion. I don't think they're gonna get to that point, but that's not bad, man. Cambridge, Salford, Grimsby, and Notts County. Hell yeah. As it looks like that's going to be the playoffs this year in League Two. Very happy for Salford, as that ball will be held in. And that will get out past the end line. I think that's going to be a goal kick. Yeah, Lincoln City ran away with League One this year. Very happy. Same with Cardiff. Very happy for the Bluebirds, as those two will make their way up to the championship. And it looks like the playoff spots in League One will go to the Bolton Wanderers. I'm actually happy for Bolton. Stockport, Bradford, and Stevenage. Luton Town. You're so disappointing, Luton. When will Barnsley ever be good again? I kind of have a soft spot for Barnsley. And of course, Coventry will get an automatic promotion. It looks like that battle for number 2 will be a three horse race between Ipswich, Millwall, and Middlesbrough. I really kind of want Middlesbrough. I'm selfish because of Aidan Morris. I want another American in the Premier League, so I'm kind of on that Middlesbrough train. But that being said, man, I'm actually really, really happy for Millwall. And it looks like Wrexham pulled into that number 6 spot, so let's go Wrexham. All right. As we are now in the in added time, as there's a nice little cluster there in the midfield, but I think is there going to be a whistle here? Oh, and now Yves Bissouma is down. And there's got to be a red here. As we see this again, Bissouma comes in. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, okay, on replay, it didn't look as nasty as it did. As Gomez there, it kind of was a little bit of a late tackle, no doubt about it. But in the live feed there, it kind of did look like it was a malicious tackle. But upon replay, it doesn't necessarily look anything other than a late sliding tackle. At the very least, it's probably going to be a yellow. As Yves Bissouma. Actually, it doesn't really look late either. It just looks like a hard tackle. Now that I see it again. But yeah, it looks like Gomez is gonna take a yellow here. Strap in, Unk. Why do I gotta be Unk? Yeah, I got gray hair. You can call me Unk. I have no problem being Unk. I've earned it. Who am I kidding? I'm not young anymore. Those days are over. So Yves Bissouma is still on the pitch here. It looks like he's probably going to be all right. Let's see. If you find out you are a copy of the original, would you save current you, original you? Can't save both. What are you talking about, man? Can I be honest with you? I have no idea what you're talking about. Gaines Fitness Business? What are you talking about, homie? as it looks like Basuma's up now, so good on it. Good on Eves. Certainly has been playing well. As Biss is up, looks like he's kind of hobbling a little bit. So play will reset here as we are now approaching the 50th. So we are pretty goddamn close to half here. As we are underway here. Here's Pedro. Here's Shav. Back to Porro. There you go. As that's going to take a bounce. And that'll get out of bounds. And that's the halftime whistle. So Spurs and Wolves are knotted at 0 here at the half. I will say that Spurs had a dominant half, but still couldn't necessarily figure out that low block of Wolves. But I was a little disappointed. I got to be honest with you. They really haven't been testing Jose Sa at all. It's one thing to have possession, but you absolutely have to do something with that possession. And again, we didn't see a lot of balls into the box from a Pedro Porro or a Rando Kolo Muani. They were trying to work that into central areas. Okay, fine. But that being said, you're going to have to give multiple looks, and we just didn't necessarily see it. So hopefully we will see that adjustment in the second half. Burn says, speaking of promotions, have you seen the National League with Rochdale and York? I have, actually. First and second place facing each other for only one automatic promotion spot. Rochdale scored in the 95th minute to go first. Took 7 minutes to clear the pitch when fans only for York to equalize. Oh, see, that's what I love about promotion and relegation. I love the promotion battles and I love the relegation scraps. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, they're just talking about something. I have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah. So, and what's interesting about it is, and when you get to the non-league, that's where you see some of the best promotion battles. And it's absolutely fun, man. I remember the promotion battle between Notts and Wrexham a few years ago. That was pretty good. But yeah, York and Rochdale has been absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Carlisle United, by the way. 95 points on the season. They had 29 wins, 95 points, and they're not going to get promoted. By the way, Boreham Wood, 90 points on the season and not going to get a promotion. But shout out to Rochdale and York City, 108 and 106 points on the campaign. That shit is insane. Yeah, Scunthorpe has what, 82 points? Forest Green, 81 points. Oh man, shout out to Gateshead. Kind of big fan of Gateshead. Let's see what's going on with my team. Let's see if they moved up. God damn it. Looks like Worthing is going to take the National League South. 84 points. Hornchurch is on 81, and my guys, Torquay United, 80 points. I was hoping Torquay would move up. I like Torquay. Dorking Wanderers, 79 points. I don't like Dorking. Dagon Red, only 64 points, man. It sucks. Dover Athletic. Shout out to Dover. Yeah, I really am a non-league fan, but what I will say is that, man, I was really kind of hoping Torquay would move out of the National League South and up. All right, let's go ahead and get into the halftime stats here. As Spurs do control the possession battle, 69-31. XG is even at 12, 0.12. So both teams are sitting at the same XG. Spurs only have 5 total shots in this one, and that's that is the disappointing aspect of this one. No shots on target. Only one big chance for Spurs. They missed it. Accurate passes, 301 to Spurs, 113 to Wolves. Fouls committed, 4 to Wolves, 3 to Spurs. Both teams have 3 corners. And like I said, XG, both of them have 0.12. XG from open play, Spurs 0.11 to Wolves 0.0. XG on set play, and this is where Wolves had their 0.12. Spurs is only 0.01. So from set pieces, yeah, Spurs are going to have to do a lot better. Let's see, passes, total passes, 337 for Spurs, 147 for Wolves. Passes in the own half, Spurs 135, Wolves 74. Passes in the opposition half, and you can see where Spurs have actually held possession the most in Wolves half, 166 to 39. Accurate long balls, 20 to 11 Spurs. Accurate crosses, 2-0 Wolves. Both teams have 9 touches in the opposition box. Again, you can see where Spurs have actually held it. They have 16 touches to Wolves' 4. Wolves have 1 offsides to Spurs 0, and then of course yellow cards. Wolves have 1. Spurs have yet to take it to take their first yellow. When we're looking at the shots, no shots have hit the woodwork. Although block shots, Wolves have 2, Spurs have 1. Shots inside the box, 2-2 even, and then shots outside the box, 3-2, 3-0 to Spurs. So they have been taking shots from they have taken some shots from distance, but again, they're going to have to mix up their looks a little bit because, again, only 5 total shots is unacceptable. From the defensive side of things, Wolves currently are leading the tackle battle 15-14. Spurs do lead the interception battle 5-4. Spurs have 2 blocks to Wolves' 1. Clearances 10-5 to Wolves, and both teams have no keeper saves. And defensively on the duel front, Spurs are leading the duel battle 29-27. Ground duels 24-23 to Wolves. Aerial duels 6-3 to Spurs, and both teams have 6 successful dribbles. All right, so let's see. Unk, you should eat some breakfast. Yeah, I am kind of hungry, bud. I kind of want a burger, but I think it might be a little too inappropriate to have a burger at 10 o'clock. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look around the grounds because there is a match that we have to pay attention to. And currently at the half, Everton and West Ham are tied 0-0. Let's see. West Ham do have 5 shots to Everton's 3. Possession, Everton does hold the possession battle 53-47. So it seems like it's a very even match. Only 1 shot on target for Everton to West Ham's 0. So it looks like it is a dead even match at the Olympic Stadium there. So obviously for both teams, both Spurs and Everton need to have a monster second half. Let's see. Liverpool is leading Palace 2-0 as Alexander Isak and Andrew Robertson scored for Liverpool. God damn it, Eagles. I really wanted the Eagles to win that one. Man. Let's see. On Tuesday, Brighton beat Chelsea 3-0. Jesus Christ. Freddie Cargoglou scored in the 3rd minute, Hinchelwood in the 56th, and Danny Welbeck in the 90+1. That's a big win for Brighton as they beat Chelsea pretty handily. Man City did beat Burnley 1-0. Leeds and Bournemouth played to a 0-0 draw, 2-2 draw, excuse me. And it looks like that's kind of a big result right there for Leeds. Let's see. Where are we at? Nottingham Forest beat Sunderland 5-0. That shit pisses me off. Fulham beats Aston Villa today 1-0 as Ryan Sessegnon gets one in the 43rd minute, and it stands. Way to go, Fulham. That's kind of a big 3 points for Fulham. And so that is your look around the ground real quick. As I do want to, let's see, I do want to get to, yeah. So later today, Arsenal will host Newcastle United, and Manchester United will host Brentford on the 27th. As we look at the table here, Manchester City now will currently sit in first place, but they are even with Arsenal on points. Both have the goal differential at 37, but in the head-to-head, Manchester City obviously did beat Arsenal, and of course they also lead in the goal differential. City has 66 to Arsenal 63. Manchester United. Can't believe Manchester United is in third place, but they are. Trailed by with Liverpool and Villa, both all three are on 58. Are on 58 points. Brighton sits in 6th in a European spot at 50. And Bournemouth. How about the Cherries sitting in a European place on 49 points? That's absolutely huge. And that is the Europa League and the Conference League? That's what it is. Yeah, they're sitting in the Conference League spot, only 1 point ahead of Chelsea. By the way, Chelsea and Brentford and Everton and Fulham are all level on 48 points. By the way, Chelsea has lost, 5 straight? That is absolutely insane. And by the way, I'm all for it too, because I absolutely can't stand Chelsea. So their misery is my happiness. By the way, man, big shout out to Sunderland. They've had themselves a season, and me personally, I like the way that they handled their summer business. What their plan was coming into the season to consolidate and stay up, man, that was absolutely a beautiful thing that they did. Sitting in 12th place, Palace on 43 points. They're in 13th. Newcastle, an underachieving season this year for Newcastle, and it wouldn't surprise me if they made that decision. And I think, I don't know, did they make that decision already? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle made the decision to part ways with Eddie Howe. Don't get me wrong, man, he's Newcastle through and through, and he's done a brilliant job. But that being said, it's like, you look at what Newcastle wants to be and where they were just a few years ago in a Champions League spot, and to see that regression, yeah, for certain. Now, granted, losing Alexander Isak and not necessarily replacing him like for like doesn't necessarily help. But, for a team that is as talented as Newcastle is, to be in 14th place on 42 points, it's not good enough. Shout out to Leeds again. They're going to be safe. Same thing with Forest. So really this comes down now to Spurs and West Ham. And quite honestly, it's going to be it really is going to be a situation where it's probably going to come down to the last day. But, regardless, Spurs are going to have to handle their business. And yes, we're going to need help. But as far as I'm concerned, it would be easy for me to say that we don't need to pay attention to anybody else but ourselves. But because of the situation that we found ourselves in, and because we've pretty much let this entire season go to shit, unfortunately, we're going to need West Ham to collapse here. So hopefully we get the 3 today. And Everton does ourselves does us a solid, man. And they get the 3 points from West Ham today, and that puts us at least 1 point above the draw moving forward. So I am with you. Super spicy hot sauce GA. That's a hell of a name. I'm 100% with you, man. I believe today is the start as well too. So we'll see what happens in that second half. Let's see. Spicy, super spicy. Come on, you Spurs. Dan the Travel Man. We need to win. Yes, we do. I like that name. Dan the Travel Man. Super spicy hot sauce is not bad either. So, and it looks like we are going to see some substitutions at half. It looks like Matisse Tell is going to come on. So I'm not upset about that. But what's funny is Burnley gets relegated again, and this will be the third relegation in the last 5 years for Burnley, and they still haven't learned their lesson. And you can't come up to the championship expecting to play a similar style of football to the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal. They just have they have a budget that dwarfs theirs. And it's like, if you try to emulate those teams on the pitch, you're going to get beaten by those teams. And it's like you literally have to go back to basics. It's like you look at what Sunderland did, you look at what Leeds did, in understanding that eventually, yes, you're going to be able to play, but the first order of business is you have to consolidate and stay in the Premier League, which means if you go back to playing old school football, if you are just a pacey, physical, athletic team, you're going to be able to get some results. You look at what Sunderland did, and that's exactly the playbook they did. They're not playing this, they're not playing this beautiful high possession based style of football. They are literally just a very direct football team that is physical. And they were able to get some results this year. And, Burnley just hasn't learned that lesson, as this ball will go in and it'll be deflected past the near post. Can you join me for the next Spurs watch along with Villa? Of course, Dan. Absolutely. Forest and Leeds are going to stay up now. Yep. As that one goes off for Richie. As Richie will deflect that set piece. Well, this ball will come in. It'll take a head as it will come down. Poked forward there by Van de Ven as this one will clear the crossbar by a million miles. So Spurs dodge two different bullets right here when it comes to set plays. Dan the Travel Man says that he is a season ticket holder. I was thinking about getting season tickets. I'm not, I'm only going to be able to get over to London a couple times a year, so I'll probably have to resell most of the tickets. But that being said, I wouldn't mind being a season ticket holder. As Wolves now will have possession, as it looks like they're going to try to play this one down the left-hand side. Spurs are doing a good job right here of pressing the ball, as it looks like Spurs will come away with possession here. They did a very good job right there. So here comes Spurs. There's the ball that's going to get chipped forward. Is that Matisse? That is Matisse. He does a good job. And they're going to say, did that one go out? And Matisse Tell is arguing about it. Yeah, he's not going to win that battle. It's not cheap, £1,500 a year. Yeah, you know what's interesting about it compared to season ticket prices in the U.S., that's actually pretty affordable. As this one will come down, and Spurs will come away with it here. Oh, around the corners, Matisse Tell. He tries to play one in, and there's Jose Sa. Oh, wonderful defensive play right there by Jed Spence. I think I think Sounders season tickets are a little bit more than that. For Major League Soccer, I think you're kind of pushing like $2,000 for a full season. So this ball will make its way back to Jose's. Back to Jose Sa. Yeah, I think they're somewhere in that $1,500 to $2,000 price range. That's for Major League Soccer, and there's a reason why season ticket renewals have been steadily declining. But Wolves now have an opportunity. That's a good ball. As it frees up, there's a ball that's going to come down. And Spurs, instead of clearing it, that's a good play. That's a good player. They're going to say that last. Oh man, I don't know about that. That looked like it was last touched by Wolves, but nonetheless, Wolves will have a throw in deep. And instead of clearing it, he tried to chip it over the head, and inadvertently, that ball still stayed Wolves' possession. As this will be a long throw in into the box, as that will come down. Now Xavi will clear it. So there you go. And it looks like West Ham have taken a 1-0 lead over, at least for our day, our beloved Toffees. 1-0 West Ham. So Spurs have to win this one just to keep pace, as that ball will get switched to the left. Oh, that's a good ball. Here's Xavi. Cuts in. Xavi! Oh, and Xavi sends it over the crossbar. Chavs. Oh, that was our first good look. Good switch as Xavi beat his man to the inside. And Xavi. Good move by Xavi. And he just sends it over the crossbar. For fuck's sake. So Xavi had the first decent look by Spurs as it came in the 50th minute, 51st minute. And Wolves try to play it long, but there's Mickey Van de Ven as Tony now will play this forward. Man, oh man, oh man. Xavi. Yeah, you got to be able to take that. You got to be able to bury that touch, man. He had a really good look. So Wolves will have a free kick here as Doherty will start replay. That's a good challenge. There's a ball forward, but it was just too heavy of a touch as it was looking for Richie. As Richie's doing a good job on Jose Sa. As here comes Wolves now down the right-hand side as they play this one out. Good defense by Jed Spence. As now they're going to rotate this now to the left side. As Spurs are doing a really good job defensively. There's the takeaway. Here comes Spurs now on the counter. Oh, that's a good ball by Conor Gallagher. Here's Richie, and he sends one into orbit. You don't have to rush it, bud. You don't have to rush it. All right. So, yeah, it looks like Thomas Suchek scored in the 51st minute for West Ham. So West Ham currently now move 5 points. 5 points clear in the live standings. Actually, it would be 4 points clear because we're still at a draw. As this ball will stay in. Here comes Wolves now. That's a good ball in. And they're going to whistle Pedro Porro for a foul. I don't know. I don't know, man. As Mane. Oh, that was a weak foul. I don't actually see the foul. Yeah, like no bullshit. I don't understand where the contact was on that one. As West Ham is essentially given a gift, and I think this ref is pulling out the yellow. As both Yves Bissouma and Pedro Porro have got beef here. So Wolves were given a gift here on this set piece. So yeah, Pedro Porro gets the yellow, and Spurs have to keep their heads here. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs. Let's defend this shit. As the not Sadio Mane will take this free kick here. As this one will go in, it'll take a deflection. And there's Tony Kinski. Nice. Tony, you sexy motherfucker. That's a good ball down, too. Here's Xavi. As Xavi will go down. And he's holding his knee. Holy shit. Oh, dear. Hopefully he didn't rupture his ACL. Oh. Varian Roastance. I'm a Forens fan. You're going relegated. Look at the positive. You will have the biggest stadium in the championship. Okay, bud. And I mean this nicely. I really do. I really do. I mean this in the nicest way possible, but go fuck yourself. Yeah, that's not what's needed. That's not what's needed, man. And by the way, man, you probably have the worst owner in the Premier League. So there's that. As it looks like João Palhinha is getting ready to come in. As yeah, it looks like Xavi is injured. Ugh. And I'm hoping that this isn't anything serious. That if anything, it's just a hyperextended knee. As it looks like Bergvall is also up as well too. No James Maddison. Interesting. Why put him on the bench if you're not going to utilize a guy like Matters? As the physios are there looking at Xavi. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear. As it looks like both Lucas Bergvall and Mr. João Palhinha are getting ready to go in. By the way, man, shout out to Igor Thiago of Brentford, 21 goals on the season. That is absolutely brilliant for Igor Thiago. There's something about Brentford. They know how to plug and play. Antoine Semenyo with 15 on the season. Of course, Erling is your leader. So, yeah, looks like there's going to be a double switch here as Xavi's up. All right. There you go. Xav. He is up. As there's Roberto. All right, man. I'm liking it. That makes me happy. The last thing we needed was a devastating knee injury. So Spurs will be down a man for at least about a minute until play stops. So let's see what Spurs are capable here. As we are now approaching the 60th minute. 30 minutes, there's a ball into the box. As it does reach it, there's a ball that's going to go well over the crossbar. So, as that was not Sadio Mane, as that ball actually reached the far side of the right, it was played back in, but Mane couldn't control it. So Spurs now will have the possession here. Burn 33 says, maybe I missed it, but I truly believe that if we don't have all our injuries, we would have been challenging for Europe. See, my issue with that is, and now Xavi's back down again. God damn it, Shabs. Yeah, so we're gonna see some substitutions here, no doubt about it. I disagree with you because on the one hand, yeah, I do believe that had we not lost Madison and Solanke and Betancourt and Kulu was 100%. No doubt we're a better team, but under Thomas Frank, we would have savagely underachieved, without a doubt. We would have underachieved. So it looks like Xavi is potentially going to get carted off here. So Yves Bissouma comes out here in the 60th minute. So on comes João Palhinha, and coming in for Xavi Simons will be Lucas Bergvall. But yeah, so here's the thing. I don't think we're a top 4 team. What I will say is, would we be anywhere in that 7 to 10 range? Yeah. I think our talent puts us there, but again, one of the problems with Thomas Frank was that he was really a conservative defensive coach, and when you look at our players, when you look at our player pool, we were built to be a front-footed attacking team. I mean, it was built around Ange Postecoglou, and so I think there would have been a level of underachievement with this squad. Had they made the right decision by allowing Ange to have his 3rd season, I probably would agree with you. As play is resumed, as that will fall and hit Lucas Bergvall, so Spurs looks like they are actually doing a really good job of kind of controlling things. That one will get out. So as both Jed Spence and Lucas Bergvall were trying to play it off each other, it does go out. So this will be a Wolves throw-in. But yeah, like had Ange stayed, I would probably agree with you. I think we are pushing the top 4. Now, do we finish 5th or 6th? Yeah, probably. But yeah, European play wouldn't have been out of the realm of possibility. But as it is, we are in a relegation scrap because Thomas Frank refused to play football. So there's going to be a whistle. That one will go against Adam Armstrong, as Xavi is going to be carted off here. Actually was against Spurs there. Sorry. Spurs are going the other direction. As that one will go out. God damn it. I got to be honest with you, man. Wolves made the adjustment at the half, as they are, I wouldn't say taking control of things, but Spurs aren't necessarily playing with the control that they had in the first half. As Xavi comes off the pitch off a stretcher. Here's Connor. G Money. As Matisse Tell tries to get around the corner, that one will go out, and now Matisse Tell is down. He's up. Ooh, took in a stinger there. As there's a ball forward. Trying to pick out Richarlison. Oh, nice play by Bergvall. Oh, and Tell tried to play one in, and that's going to get cleared. As Spurs. Oh, look at Tony. Tony had to make a diving save there. And looks like there's going to be another yellow. As I think this one's going to go against Rodrigo Betancourt. I think so. As that was a good hustle play right there by Adam Armstrong, as it was him and Kevin Danso. As that ball got forward, Tony punched it away. And João Palhinha made a sliding tackle to get the ball away from Mane. And I think, yeah, he caught Mane. So, yeah, there's going to be a yellow card right there. So, Wolves, again, will have a good opportunity right here. Let's see. Have I heard that King Charles and his wife are visiting the U.S.? I have not. And, yeah, no, I have not heard that. I wonder why they're coming. That's interesting. As this one will go on, and it'll get out. As that one missed the near post a little bit right there. So, again, Spurs dodge another bullet, as that was a good shot. That was a good shot. It just missed the near post just barely. As Tony hit the post, by the way. Hopefully you're good, big man. So Spurs now. That's a good ball forward. Oh, very good job by Wolves right here to take it away. Wolves in transition. And that ball will get out. I think that was last touch by Wolves. Spurs will have the throw in. Yeah, I wonder why they're coming to the U.S. Huh. As this ball will get hit to Kinski. As that one will get into the box. Here's Betancourt. Back to Spence. As that was a fight right there to keep possession. Yeah, as Jed Spence has not played well today. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So it's an opportunity to repair I guess, the damage between both countries. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, because, I think the UK doesn't support the war effort, and there's been a lot of back and forth. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. It's funny. I love how the BBC describes it. As this ball will get whipped in. Oh! Oh, that nearly went in. Oh, Spurs nearly got it off the set piece right there. Oh, and they're going to say it was offside anyways, but Rodrigo Betancourt, god damn it. As that was point blank right at target. That was a great save by Jose Sa. As Rodrigo Betancourt literally put one on. Damn it. Damn it. It has nothing to do with politics. Charles and Trump are well, that's not according to the BBC, but let's see. Happy Saturday to you, my friend. Good to see you, Greg. Yeah, so it is described as a, I guess you can say a damage repair meeting because, yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth between England and the United States when it comes to the war in Iran. As that ball will get played all the way back, as Wolves are trying to clear it, and they do. Spurs are trying to keep it in, and ultimately, Kevin Danso will play this one out. But yeah, well, I don't know how much sway the King will have, but I'm sure that him and Trump and Charles will have a good conversation nonetheless. Have you ever met King Charles? Because I know he does a lot of he goes around the UK from time to time, and I heard that he does meet and greets and things of that nature. I think Iran should be able to play their matches in Canada and Mexico. Me personally, I hope Iran stays in the draw. Personally, I think they've earned their way to be there. I don't think that, and it looks like Gomes has come out for Arkadare. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the embargo on Iranian fans coming in. It's the World Cup for 2 weeks. You can kind of put politics to the side and allow teams to compete and have their fans and in the stands to cheer them on. After all, although I will say that the Iranian press are kind of dicks. During that 2002 World Cup, where an Iranian journalist had to correct Tyler Adams over something as arbitrary as a mispronunciation of their country's name, I thought that was kind of a dickish move. I will not be going to the Olympics in LA. I will not. Although I kind of do. See, here's the thing. I kind of do want to watch the soccer tournament at the Olympics. The US U23s are actually, I think there's going to be a whistle there. Yeah, there is. As Pedro Lima goes down. The Olympic soccer tournament is going to be interesting. And so I would like to catch it. But that being said, I absolutely hate Los Angeles with a passion. I've never been a big fan of LA. It's the same reason why I don't like New York. You don't need 30 million people crammed together, in an area, because all it does is make life a living hell. And every time I've been down to LA, it's been a bad experience. I just don't like it. Yep. The last time the Olympics were in the U.S. was, 96. I remember the 96 Olympics well. No, they're allowed 3. They're allowed 3 over age. It's going to be interesting to see who the overages are this time around, because I think during the Paris Olympics, it was Walker Zimmerman. I forget. Walker Zimmerman. Who was on that 2004? Yeah. Yeah, just out of curiosity, who was on that team? Yeah, so it was Patrick Schulte, Walker Zimmerman, and I think Gianluca Busio probably. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. It was a good Olympic team for the US. They played well before ultimately going out to Morocco. That Moroccan team was the shit. Yeah, Pulisic is not going to be there, man. Although, if you ask him though, if he'd be willing to go to the Olympics and compete for a gold, man, it'd be interesting to see what he would say. As Wolves now, oh, that's a good move. There's a ball into the box, and there's Tony. Oh, as Wolves are knocking on the door here in the 75th minute. Yep. Coventry play Wrexham tomorrow. I know. I'm going to be watching. With, by the way, with Coventry already guaranteed their promotion, I'm curious to see if Frank Lampard, by the way, Pedro Porro got absolutely shook off that left-hand side right there. Dude, he got cooked. So Spurs will have the free kick here. It'll be interesting to see how Frank Lampard approaches that match tomorrow with Wrexham with the promotion already in the bag. You know, is there going to be rotation, right? Because Wrexham currently sit in 6th place, and so they're looking for the 3 points. And it would be interesting to see what that Coventry team is going to look like. Like if they see it, by the way, if they play Yang Min Hook tomorrow, you know that there's heavy rotation going on. Let's see. I'm guessing club teams aren't required to release players for the Olympics. So that is true. That is very true. But that being said, if a player asks, generally speaking, it usually, that ball is going to be in. That's going to be headed away. Kept in by Spurs. To the back post, there's Jose Sa. Yeah, so it's weird. The Olympics are not designated as an official FIFA window because it is a U23. It's a U23 tournament, right? So that being said, though, typically, if a player is announced on the roster and the player wants to go, typically the club will let him go. I have yet to see a scenario where a club says no. With that in mind, though, it did happen in the last Olympics where Jordan Morris was one of the 3 overage players that were named, and Jordan wanted to go, and the Sounders wouldn't let him go because at the time, the Sounders were, in a position where they could potentially work their way up the table, and so the Sounders didn't want to let him go. And of course, Jordan is an injury risk in itself, and so that they didn't want that to happen. But typically, usually the clubs will usually release the players for the Olympics, as Jose Sa will play this one deep. Yes, I did know Stu Hull could have played for Scotland. He was, that's a takeaway right there. There's a shot that's going to be deflected. And all of a sudden, Wolves are literally coming on waves here as that finds another Wolves attacker. There's a ball that's going to go over the bar. As it was Adam Armstrong this time. As we are in the 78.5-minute mark now. If Spurs aren't careful, they're going to end up conceding here. As that one misses the near post right there. As this ball will be with Tony Kinski. I will say that for as good as Spurs were in the first half, and they were very good, the second half has been touch and go. Here's Lucas Bergvall. Here's Iceberg. Tries to cut in. Loses possession. Spurs will regain it in the mid. As they're playing down the right-hand side, there's a ball in. Oh, man, it missed Richarlison. But there's Jed Spence. Here's Spency. Taking too long again on the ball. And I think there's a whistle. Spurs just can't get shit going. Yeah, Stu Holden just missed Richarlison. Oh, it was headed away. I got you. Okay. Yeah, so Stu Holden says that, he, lived such a short time in Scotland, and, he spent most of his time in the US, and, he's, like, it wasn't really even an issue until he got to a certain level and Scotland came calling, but, he said there was never a decision to make. He was going to play for the US. But we're now in the 80th minute. Spurs have the possession here, as that one was nearly taken away. Yeah, I'd love to have Stu Holden on. I got to figure out a way to get a hold of him, though. As Matisse Tell is fighting down there, as he comes away with the ball. Here's Pintel. Does a good job. It's going to take a deflection, so Spurs will have a corner. Yeah, I wonder if I can get a hold of Stu Holden. Yeah. So Spurs will have the corner here. Last time Rodrigo Betancourt put one on. As this one will fall. Here's Richie. Oh, it's good! It's João Palhinha. It's João, who was at the back post. And Spurs grab a lead. João Palhinha. As that one came down, Richarlison, and it was just João Palhinha as that ball just came forward as Richarlison tried to put one on. And there was João Palhinha, right place at the right time. And Spurs grab a 1-0 lead here in the 82nd minute. Oh, man. Finally, Spurs break through. Oh. Unbelievable. Yep. Still fight. Let's see. I'm listening to the Spurs match on the radio as no spoilers for me. Okay, well, I just gave it away. So Spurs grab the 1-0 lead here in the 83rd minute, and it looks like Wolves are about to make a change. So Spurs, let's see if they can let's see if they can deliver the dagger, as that one was taken away. And that ball will get out. Obviously, last week, in the 90+5, Brighton took advantage and equalized. So hopefully Spurs learn that lesson, as that ball will take a deflection, but Wolves will hold on. And you hope that Spurs have learned that lesson from last week, that they absolutely have no need to bunker here. Try to play for that second goal and put this thing away. As Spurs lead in the 84th, as they will swing this one to the right. As Wolves now will play it back. As that ball will get away and it'll get out. As it looks like Douglas Lima fell. So it looks like He Chan is going to be coming away. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, don't do that. Let's see. Dortmund and Celtic, huh? I don't have a problem with either of those teams. I'm not a big, so Wang Chan comes in for Doherty. So it looks like they're bringing on extra attackers here. So by the way, I don't like Bayern Munich whatsoever. I've never really been a Bayern Munich guy, although I was happy when Alphonso Davies made the move over there. But what I will say is that, I'm not a big fan of Bayern. And I loved Dortmund under Jurgen Klopp. I really did. And obviously, because of Christian Pulisic, I became a big fan of Dortmund. I was upset when Christian went to Chelsea, by the way. I was visibly upset for weeks, but whatever. You can root for a player, not root for the team. But like when Jurgen was there at Dortmund, man, that team was one of the sickest teams in football. As that ball gets around the corner, as that's a good shot on. Saw had to make a save here. Here's Tell. As he lays this one off, it's Connor G. G money. As Spurs are looking for that second, that one's taken away. And that one plays out. So I like, in Celtic. So I was a big fan of Aberdeen. For whatever reason, I can't explain it. I'm a big fan of Aberdeen, and I like Falkirk as well, too. I'm kind of a big fan of Falkirk. But I don't dislike Celtic. That's what I will say. And by the way, I actually watched a lot of Celtic when Ange was still there, as Spurs come away with this ball. And when Ange was at Celtic, that team was awesome. That team was awesome under Ange Postecoglou. And they were a fun team to watch in the Scottish Prem as that one gets hit out. So I don't dislike Celtic, but I prefer Aberdeen. We are the boys of Aberdeen, and we're gonna do it for you. Jurgen Klopp is a Christian church believer. Oh yeah, is he? Yeah, he is actually. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's see. We have mainly because cable TV in the early 2000s, Fox had the Bundesliga and Scottish Prem, so it was my only option. Yeah. You know what's funny is, I will say the same thing. Yeah. For a while there, we had nothing but Bundesliga football, so I watched a lot of Christian. You know who was dope at who was really good for Dortmund? And I think he went from Wolfsburg in the second Bundesliga to Dortmund before there's a ball in, before making his way over to West Ham, was Nicholas Füllkrug. Füllkrug was nice, man. And it's not a surprise that he didn't pan out with West Ham. West Ham can't get the striker position good at all. But Nicholas Füllkrug, by the way, and that was the funniest thing about Füllkrug, because he was in the second Bundesliga when he got his call up to the German national team for 2022. He played in that World Cup, and he actually played pretty well. But I think before Dortmund, Jurgen was at Mainz, and I think he won a Bundesliga with Mainz. As that ball gets cleared. Martin O'Neill, Celtic squads, first time around were awesome. Celtic got to the UEFA Cup nowadays, the Europa League. Lost to Porto. Yeah, I'm a big fan of I'm kind of a big fan of Martin O'Neill. By the way, currently, oh shit. So, fuck. West Ham just took the lead on a Callum Wilson goal. Keenan Dewsbury Hall equalized in the 88th, and Callum Wilson. Fuck. Anyway, Spurs do lead 1-0 still. As there's a shot that's going to go. So Frankie Nbai, who is giving me the up, down, and pointing to me with a U. I don't know what that is, bud. 7 minutes of added time now. You know, who were some of your favorite top flight, teams of all time? I'm kind of curious about what some of you guys, when you guys were looking back, what were some of your favorite all-time teams that you enjoyed watching? By the way, like in the 90s, obviously Manchester United, after Eric Cantona came over, that 92, 93, Manchester United winning side after Eric Cantona came over. By the way, Cantona was phenomenal. That Blackburn Rovers team with what's his ass? Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton. That was actually a pretty solid. There's a turnover right there, but Spurs figured out a way. Oh, they're gonna whistle it. Under King Kenny Dalglish. That was a pretty good side. The entertainers, man, of Newcastle, with Rio Ferdinand and when Alan Shearer went over, and they had the young kid from Manchester United, the guy who essentially went over in the Andy Cole deal. God, what's his name? He went over to Keith Gillespie. That's his name. Yeah, when Keith Gillespie went over to Newcastle, and the entertainers were a phenomenal team in the 90s. Didn't win anything, which was upsetting, but Everton in the 80s, man, under Howard Kendall. Those were amazing sides too, man. And what's interesting, if that Heysel disaster didn't happen in 85, 86, Everton probably would have won the European Cup, and their fortunes change. But as it was, by 88, Howard Kendall had already left, and Everton wasn't really the same. But Spurs are now 4 minutes away. Am I a fan of Michael Jackson music? Yeah, I can get down with Michael. I don't mind Billie Jean, as it looks like He Chan or Wang Chan is going to take down Rodrigo Betancourt. So Spurs will have the free kick here, as it looks like Wolves will make another change as Bueno comes off the pitch. And who's this young lad coming on? As Molar Wolf will check in for Bueno. So we are 3 minutes away from Spurs' first victory of 2026. If we can hold on here, let's get that second goal, boys. As that one was played back, as Danso's going to have to play this one forward. And there's Jose Sa. As Wolves will move quickly here. We got to tighten shit up here, boys. As Spurs are leading 1-0. As it looks like West Ham did their business today, as that ball is going to come through, taken away right here by Spurs. Here's Lucas Bergvall. It's the iceberg, as there's going to be a whistle as Bergvall will hit the deck. Let's see. I was shocked when I heard about Jackson's death. Were you when you heard? I don't know where I was, but I wasn't shocked at all because I heard that Michael was a rabid pill popper. Like that was that was a secret that wasn't really that big of a secret. And what's interesting is in his post death, like Michael like on a day-to-day basis would take like a shitload of like amphetamines, and he would be essentially high all day, and with use of so many types of different pills that he was taking that he eventually developed insomnia where he couldn't sleep, and so he was taking, like, they would literally give him like anesthetic, the type of shit that they use in surgery, but it was like the liquid form and it looked like milk. And Michael would take his milk every single night just so he would be able to sleep, but it's not really sleep, right? So Michael was was chemically living there at the end, so it didn't necessarily surprise me. What surprised me actually was Prince. That kind of shocked me. As off the half turn, as that ball gets cleared, I think there's going to be a whistle here. So there's a yellow card, as they're going to say this one's against Danso. So Wolves will have a free kick here. Oh, you can't be giving away fouls like this deep into your own end. So we are now at the 97th now. This is a big moment right here for Spurs. Come on, boys. Come on, Tony, you got this. As it looks like this will be Gomez taking this free kick. All right, boys. Off the wall. All right, let's go, boys. Here we go. Oh, what a save. Tony. Oh, Tony. What a save by Tony. Oh, that was such a good free kick. Oh, what a save, you sexy motherfucker. Tony. As this ball goes in, as it's played out. And there it is. Spurs get the win. It wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't the prettiest victory. It wasn't. But Spurs grab it. Unfortunately, so does West Ham. So with the wins, West Ham is on 36 points and Spurs are at 34. But we're still within shouting distance, goddammit. Oh, that was such a tough loss for Everton. I really wanted Everton to come through. But Spurs grabbed their first win of the year in a clean sheet victory over Wolves. Yeah, it wasn't easy, my friends. It wasn't an easy victory today. I predicted a 4-0, and I was wrong. But what a performance by Tony Kinski. Especially there at the end, man. That was one of the biggest saves, one of the clutch moments of the season right there, as Tony just absolutely leveled up. And Spurs get their first victory in 2026, a road victory. Come on, you Spurs, goddammit. That was such a huge victory for Spurs. And granted, yes, I mean, it sucks. West Ham wins, whatever. I don't care. We're still within shouting distance. And with that, next week, as we can look a little forward here. So next week, they will have to travel to the G-Tech. I believe. Yeah, they got to travel to the G-Tech to take on Brentford, a very good Brentford side. And then they have Arsenal, Newcastle, and Leeds. Okay? And we have Aston Villa and Leeds in the next two. And, of course, Aston Villa, I believe they lost today. They did. I believe they did. Yeah, Villa lost to Fulham 1-0. So, all of a sudden, Spurs have confidence. All of a sudden, when you're looking at the last couple matches under Roberto De Zerbi, even though that they got screwed in that Sunderland match when Brian Broby essentially took out Cudi Romero for the season. In a sequence where Brian Broby should have gotten a red card, and who knows how that changes that match. What I will say is that you look at the job that we did against Brighton in a match we probably should have won, but we ended up taking that point, and then all of a sudden we go to the Molineux and pick up 3 points against Wolves, and we've taken 4 points in 3 games, and now all of a sudden, man, we're cooking. We're cooking with gas. I am absolutely thrilled. And you can see that this team is drastically different. Now, of course, today we lost Xavi Simons. And who knows exactly what the damage to that knee is. And again, hopefully that it's something minor and Xavi will be able to come back. But that being said, Maddison is training. Maddison made the match day squad. So maybe this might be, a time for James Maddison to start getting some minutes because we're going to need him. Yeah, Dan the Travel Man. We won a game. I know Sunshine, Sunshine does hit a dog's butt every once in a while. That is true. All right, let's go ahead and get into the stats for this one. As at the full time, Spurs did win the possession battle 59-41%. You kind of understood it wasn't going to be, a 70% all the way through. So Wolves did find their way into the game in the second half. But the XG battle, Spurs 1.05 to Wolves' 0.62. Total shots, both teams finished on 11. Shots on target, both had 2. Big chances, both had 1. And big chances missed. Wolves missed their 1 big chance while we didn't. Accurate passes, Spurs 400 right on the money to Wolves is 234. Fouls committed, Spurs 14. Wolves 8. Corners, both had 5 corners each. XG from open play, Wolves 0.34, Spurs 0.28. On set plays, Spurs 0.77 to Wolves' 0.28. When we're looking into the shots department, Spurs had 7 shots that were off target to Wolves' 5. Both had 2 on target. Block shots, Wolves had 4 block shots to Spurs 2. Nobody hit the woodwork. Both teams had 6 shots inside the box, and both teams had 5 shots outside the box. That's interesting. West Polar 365 says, "Get in." Damn right. Mads is injured. He is there for moral support. No, he's actually back. He's training full time with the squad. So from that standpoint, if you're on the match day squad, man, that means that you can play. On the passes, total passes, 468 for Spurs, 306 for Wolves. Passes in our own half, 180 for Spurs, 132 for Wolves. Passes in the opposition half, 220 for Spurs, 102 for Wolves. That's insane. Accurate long balls, Spurs 34, Wolves 18. Accurate crosses, 8-1 to Wolves. That's actually kind of disconcerting a little bit. Throws, Wolves 28, Spurs 16. Touches in the opposition box, 24-13. We doubled their touches. That's phenomenal. Offside, Spurs 2, Wolves 1. Discipline, Spurs ended up with 4 yellow cards. And a couple of those were, probably not yellow card warranted, but Wolves finishes with 3. On the defensive side, Wolves did win the tackle battle, 31-29. Spurs had 13 interceptions today. That's insane. So that lets you know that they did a very good job of clogging the passing lanes. And that's what you want to see. Wolves ended up with 6. Blocks, Spurs had 4. Wolves had 2. Clearances, 25-22 Spurs. Keeper saves, Kinski had 2. Saw had 1. And of course, my boy, Tony Kinski came up large today, especially on that free kick right there at the end. Tony, big tones. I love it. Duels. Nobody won the duel battle. Both teams had 66 duels. That's crazy. Ground duels won. Wolves 54, Spurs 47. Aerial duels 19-12 Spurs. Successful dribbles 11-9 to Spurs as well too. So a very good win today. Very good win for the Tottenham Hotspur today. They get their first win in 2026, a 1-0 victory over the freshly relegated Wolverhampton Wanderers. And so next year they will wander themselves around the championship. So that is absolutely fantastic. And yes, this was absolutely well earned. Again, not exactly the second half that I was expecting. I thought Spurs would build on their commanding first half. But again, I guess you can say credit to Wolves because they really sat in a low block and Spurs really didn't have a necessarily answer for that low block. I was actually kind of worried a little bit because even with the high possession they had in the first half, they really weren't testing Jose Sa too much. They were really trying to work that into central areas to try to attack that way. So we didn't see a lot of balls played in. In the second half, again, we really didn't see that much. Kolo Muani gets taken off for Matisse Tell. Xavi goes down with the injury. And so you're kind of thinking at that just kind of thinking at that time, like, where is this attack coming from? But off a set piece, and again, Wolves are terrible at defending set piece. They have let in now, I think, 23 with that goal today, with that goal from João Palhinha. That makes it like 23, I believe. And so from that standpoint, man, they were able to hold on and get that much needed victory. So Machina Joe, yeah, right here. Well done, Spurs. Good hard victory. Yeah, you couldn't ask for anything more. Danny Dav, yeah, full time 2-1. God damn it, Toffees. God damn it. We really needed you today. He goes on to say, I was a huge fan of Prince's music. Yeah, Raspberry Beret. Great song. Great song. Yeah. But overall, man, so yeah, this relegation battle has taken it to the next step. West Ham, good victory today by beating Everton, and Everton was a team that was, essentially prior to this one today, Bournemouth ends up drawing, but coming into the day, Everton was only three points off a European place, and so they had a lot to play for today. They needed to keep pace for their for their opportunity to get into Europe, and this was an opportunity. Yes, West Ham has had a little form, but when you're looking at their current run of form, they have dropped matches, and so you're kind of hoping that this would be an opportunity for a team like Everton to take advantage of it. But that being said, like when you're looking at Everton, man, they don't have a striker. They're using Beto, and it sucks. But what are you going to do? Let's see. Where did West Ham drop? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think they dropped it to Villa on the 22nd. Yeah. Although they've also had a nice little run of form as well too. So let's keep it real. West Ham has actually peaked a little bit. So all right, but let's go ahead and take a look around. Let's take a look around the grounds real quick. All right. So Brighton did beat Chelsea a few days ago on Tuesday, and of course that is such a massive victory for Brighton as Footy Cottaglu scored in the 3rd minute, Hinchelwood in the 56th, and Danny Welbeck in the 90, the never aging Danny Welbeck in the 90+1 as Brighton handles their business, rebounding off the draw from last week. Congratulations to Brighton. Chelsea is in a downward spiral, man. And of course, they sacked their head coach, Liam Rossigna. And so now they're in a position where they're going to have to hit a major reset. So it's going to be interesting to see what Chelsea does this time moving forward. Let me ask you guys a question now. Would it surprise you if the next head coach of Chelsea is Mauricio Pochettino? Now, Chelsea is the type of squad that doesn't have a hard time bringing in former managers. They've done it on a few occasions, most notably with Jose Mourinho, and they brought him back and they won yet again. And the job that Pochettino did at Chelsea, taking them from a 12th place team, spinning their wheels, they brought him back into Europe. He essentially did a miraculous job there at Chelsea before unceremoniously getting dumped for Enzo Maresca. But it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that Pochettino ends up back at Chelsea. He wants to be in England. He lives in London. And it wouldn't be, I don't think it would necessarily be all that crazy. Just saying. But whatever happens, they need something. They need a hard reset because Chelsea now sitting in 8th on 48 points. That's just not good enough for Chelsea's standards. Just saying. Man City did beat Burnley, and it was only a 1-0 victory as Erling Haaland scored in the 5th minute, and that held up. By the way, Manchester City took 27 shots in that game. Burnley only managed 8, and they only had 1 on target. Managed only 34% of possession, but that is absolutely insane. As Manchester City, with that win, vaulted them into first place, and so now it's on Arsenal to keep pace here as they get Newcastle United today, and so I am very much rooting hard for Newcastle today because I want to see the bottle job in full effect. That's just me. Bournemouth and Leeds played to a 2-2 draw as Eli Jr. Krupi scored in the 60th minute and Rayon scored in the 86th minute for Bournemouth, as James Hill had an own goal for Bournemouth, and Sean Longstaff in the 90+7 equalized for Leeds, and they ended up getting a point. And by the way, shout out to the Cherries because they've actually had themselves a very good season this year, sitting on 49 points in the Conference League position. By the way, did my boy get a assist today? Let's see. Yep. No, he didn't. Nope, sure didn't. Damn. Yeah, I'm kind of a big Brendan Aronson guy for obvious reasons. Let's see. Yeah, Nottingham Forest absolutely bludgeoned Sunderland. 5-0. By the way, Forest only managed 10 total shots, 6 on target, and only had 39% of the possession. And they scored 5. Trey Hume had an own goal. Chris Wood scored in the 31st. 3 minutes later, Morgan Gibbs-White scored. 3 minutes after that, it was Igor Jesus. And then Elliot Anderson in the 90+5. Holy shit. That's insanity. That's insane. Let's see. Fulham beat Villa today, 1-0. Ryan Sessegnon scored for Fulham. That one held up. That's insane. Good on Fulham. Always had a soft spot for Fulham. Let's see. Yeah, West Ham beat Everton. Liverpool beat Palace 3-1 today as Alexander Isak, Andrew Robertson, and Florian Wirtz in the 90+6. And in the 71st minute, Daniel Munoz scored for Palace. And that is your roundup in the Premier League. But of course, at the top of the table, it is Manchester City, and of course they are knotted at 70 points with Arsenal. Of course, City do have a lead in the goals scored department. They have scored 3 more goals, although the goal differential is at 37 apiece. But City do hold the head-to-head. Manchester United and Liverpool are even on 58 points, and so congratulations. It looks like, well, also so is Aston Villa on 58 points, but one of those guys are going to be left out. Actually, I think all 3 of them very well might make the Champions League. I do believe that there is a 5th Champions League spot, so never mind. All 3 of them most likely will get into the Champions League. Brighton sits 1 point ahead of Bournemouth. And 2 points ahead of Chelsea. And so as of right now, Brighton is holding on to the Europa League spot. And it looks like Bournemouth is currently holding on to the Conference League. But right there, nipping at the heels, are Chelsea, Brentford, and Fulham, all of them on 48 points. 2 points back is Everton, and Sunderland is 3 points back at 46 points. And then you have Palace, Newcastle, Leeds, Forest, and West Ham, and then there's us, 2 points adrift. But I will say that I think we're gonna do it, guys. I think we're gonna do it, and it is night and day obvious that this team is night and day. It's so much better than the version we saw under Thomas Frank. so much better than the version that we saw under Igor Tudor. And quite honestly, we are back to playing the type of football that is expected at Tottenham Hotspur. Now, whether or not we stay up, that is yet to be seen. And we're going to get, we're really going to get our first test next week against a team like Aston Villa. Villa, in their last 5, they have 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. And who did they lose to, by the way? Just out of curiosity. So they did lose to Fulham. And they lost to, who do they lose to? Manchester United on March 15th. So, yeah. By the way, in the Europa League, they did beat LOC. They beat Lille in the second leg. They played a club friendly against Elche. That's weird. And in the quarterfinals, they absolutely dummied Bologna. So, okay. All right. And looks like the Europa League second leg against Nottingham Forest, that's going to be on the 30th. So, yeah, a couple days later, then they get Spurs. So, that's going to be the test, guys. That's going to be the test. We will find out what this club is really all about against Aston Villa, a worthy opponent, not to talk shit against Wolves. Wolves played hard today, man. You got to give them their credit, but it is what it is. And Brighton, that was a good test as well too, and we nearly pulled it off. But now we're talking, top 5. We get a solid top 5 opponent this upcoming weekend against a very good Aston Villa team. Now, history would say that this potentially should favor us. Let's see. Just out of curiosity. So we are the Spurs of Aberdeen. All right, so let's see. At Villa Park, in the last 5 trips, we have won 2 in the Premier League by a scoreline of 4-0. Once in 2022 and then once in 2024. And then we have a pair of 2-1 defeats and 1 2-0 defeats. But let's see. What's going on with this? All right. So at Villa Park. So in 2013-14, we beat them there. We beat them in 2014-15. In 15-16, we beat them there. We got them in the FA Cup, 3rd round. We got them in 19-20. And we got them in 21-22 and 23-20. So we actually have a nice little record over the course of the last 10-15 years at Villa Park. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But again, it's going to be a very hard fought contest. And what I will say is how is this attack going to look without a Xavi Simons? We're going to find out the extent of that injury. And I'm hoping that it's not an ACL. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe it's just a sprained knee, and yeah, he's probably going to be lost for the rest of the season. But as far as surgery, hopefully he avoids it and makes a speedy recovery. But I will see you guys next weekend as Spurs will be taking on Villa, and I'm hoping that we're going to have the exact same joy that we had today, and hopefully we can keep this thing alive and well. And one of the things that this team has to avoid is taking ills. And so even if it is a situation where we come away with a point, what we cannot do is, avoid, we cannot put ourselves in a situation where we're going to get dummied. So from that standpoint, I'm hoping that these players understand the magnitude and they show up to Villa Park looking for a good fight. So I will be back next weekend for that one. I definitely want to say thank you to everybody that was tuning in via TikTok Live, those that are tuning in via X, Facebook, and of course YouTube. I would like to, seriously, man, throw your boy a sub, man. Make sure you hit that like button as well too, so we can get this out to the algorithm to let it do its thing. I do appreciate all of the 1,300 of you that decided to tune in today, man. It's been awesome. But yeah, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get this channel to where it needs to be. Because once we can do memberships, man, we're going to be doing fan shows. We're going to do a lot of cool shit on this channel. So again, man, hook your boy up, man. Throw me those subs, my guy. All right, man. It's been fun. And of course, by the way, a little bit later today, we have the MLS live stream, by the way. It is Minnesota United versus LAFC for all you Spurs fans. Let me tell you, man, Sonny's been awesome. Sonny's been awesome in Major League Soccer. That is going on today, I believe, at 4:30 Eastern. So that's going to be 10:30 UK time. As this is going to be 3 versus 4 in the Western Conference. Yeah, that is today at 4:45. So it is going to be an excellent. It's going to be an excellent live stream. So make sure that you guys tune in for that as well too. So I'm going to take off, guys. Spurs beat Wolves 1-0. Excellent, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. We'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.